Hey guys, how you doing? Ron Raymond here from the Raymond Report with your 2021 Big 12 college football coaches record against the point spread preview. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the first preview of the SEC coaches. And before we get going, don't forget, always subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right hand corner, or hit the subscribe button below this video if you are using a mobile device. All right, well, we did the first video college football preview of the SEC. We talked about Nick Saban, Ed Orgeron, and all the great coaches that are in that conference. And what we're trying to accomplish here, guys, this season is I'm going to do a preview on each coaches of each conference. So this way, throughout the season, when you're handicapping a game, you're saying, oh man, what was that coach's record against, say, a top 25 teams, or the bowl record, or when he's on the road? And again, we're going to put these videos on our YouTube channel. So this way, if you're handicapping a game and you want to know something about those coaches, come back, watch the video, and hopefully we could lead you down the right road. And guys, the reason why I felt this year, well, we took a different angle, right? If you saw my first video, I explained to you, I thought instead of doing a team-by-team preview, let's go right to the field general and let's see what their record is in certain situations, either at home, on the road, in a bowl game versus the top 25 teams, and compare their records with their team's record. And at the end of the day, folks, what happens when a team doesn't win? Who's the first person to get fired is the coach, right? So follow winners. And you're going to see coaches like Lincoln Riley right here. They win in a lot of amount of football games. And let's kick it off right now with Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma. And what I'm going to do is instead of forcing you guys to squint your eyes and look at this here, through a little lens scope or a telescope, I'm going to bring up my Excel sheet. And this way it's more visible and more pleasing to the eye, I hope, if you're watching on your video. All right. So let's talk about Lincoln Riley. He's going into his fifth season right now with the Sooners. They went 9-2 last year. Lincoln Riley is a winner. He wins 85% of his games so far with the Sooners. 45-8. He's got a great quarterback coming in this year, so they're going to be pretty jacked this year to see if they can go back and win a national title. But it's always going through Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide, right? So we'll see. But looking at Lincoln Riley's record on the season, 22-2. He's only lost 2 home games, and what's even more impressive, it's how hard it is to win at home. It's even tougher to win on the road. He's only got 2 losses on the road, 15-2 away from home. So having a really good run here at Oklahoma. They are but however, look, he might be 85% straight up, but he's only covering the spread in 54% of his games, and that's because when you have a high-profile coach with a high-profile team and a high-profile quarterback, the bookmakers know that, and you're not going to get the gifts that you're hoping to get, right? 1-3, however, in bowl games, so only wins 25% of his bowl games, but that's because he's facing Ohio State, Alabama, Florida, all the LSU, the big tough, the top dogs, right? But when he's facing teams that are in the top 25, 13-3 straight up. So Lincoln Riley does have a good record against those top 25 teams. Now, if I were to ask you, who do you think's the second most winningest coach? You can see the answer right there. But who would have thought Gary Patterson would be the second winningest coach right now in the Big 12? In fact, Coach Gary, I should say, is 178-74 on the 21 years, going into his 21st season with the Horned Frogs, and 92-28, 73-38 away from TCU home field. And looking at his point spread record, only 50%. So as much as he's won a lot of games straight up, not a bettor's best friend, but he is in the bowl game because he's 11-6 in bowl games and 28-24 versus top 25 opponents. And the Horned Frogs went 6-4 last year. Mike Gundy going into his 17th season with the Cowboys. They went 8-3 last year. 67% win percentage for Coach Mike. And looking at his record at home, again, 76-27. A lot of these great coaches that you're going to see, they're going to have a phenomenal home record. And I feel the real difference is their road record, and that's what separates the contenders with the pretenders. But if you can win, I say about 55% of your road games with a great program, you should be safe, right? But at the end of the day, point spread players, they don't care. As long as you win or cover the spread, that's all they care about, right? Now looking at his point spread record, well, pretty good, 58% against the spread and 10-5 in bowl games. but only 29-38 against top 25 teams. So keep an eye out when Coach Gundy here for Oklahoma State is maybe at home, especially the home dogs. 76-27, that's a pretty good home record. Now Texas, new coach this year. Sark is back. Steve Sarkisian is going to take over from Tom Herman at Texas. They went 7-3. It's but the thing is, it's recruiting, right? The one thing in college football, you got to be able to recruit, and if you can't recruit in your own state, you don't win your state, you don't get the job, and that's unfortunately, I think, what happened with Herman. But looking at Sarkisian's record, 31-11 at home, but only 19-22 as a coach with his road team. He was at Washington and USC, and only 53% against the point spread. So let's keep an eye out here this year for Texas. Iowa State, Matt Campbell going into the sixth season. They went 9-3 last year, and he's got a 56% win percent. I thought it would be a little bit higher. I thought we would see maybe in the 60%. But maybe it's the point spread, right? Look at that. 36, 24-3 against the number, and 7-13 though against top 25 teams. Now it's going to be interesting going into this season. They've got the returning quarterback coming, and a lot of high expectations to happen here, or expecting to happen here at Iowa State. But we're going to see if Campbell and the Cyclones can really have another good year. But I don't think they're going to be as productive against the point spread, I think, this season. I might fade them a few times here. Kansas, all right, so Kansas got a new coach. Lance Leopold was a D3 coach and was at Buffalo. And I think Buffalo, they lost to Ball State last year in the MAC. And but Kansas went 0-9 last season, 53% Leopold's record. So let's see, again, whenever you come from a new conference, this is, it's going to be interesting. You only, had a good year last year in Buffalo, but your record, you are what your record says you are, right, Bill Parcells? And right now, Lance Leopold's record is 53%, but 57% against the point spread. So maybe bettors will find you to put them on their Christmas card this year. Chris Kleeman here going for Kansas State. They went 4-6 last season. Kleeman is 52% at Kansas State, but 65% against the point spread. So, you know what? Kleeman could be a bettor's best friend. 2-2 against top 25 teams. West Virginia with Neil Brown going into his third season. They went 6-4 last year. Neil Brown is 50% lifetime at West Virginia and 45% against the number. And Texas Tech with Matt Wells going into season number 3, 36% win percentage. But look at that, 1-9. On the road, 7-5 at home, but 1-9 on the road, and that's what happens with these. I would say the teams in big conference, but are not the top dogs, right? Like you got your Baylor Bears, Texas Tech, the Kentuckys, right? This could be like I talked about the SEC with Mark Stoops. You got to win your home games, no matter what. College football, if you want to keep your job, you got to do the best to win your home games and be competitive in road games. But 1-9 won't cut it. 45% won't cut it with bettors either, and won't cut it in versus top 25 teams. So big year here for Matt Wells. Got to put up some numbers, not against the point spread, but for his own personal accomplishments and team accomplishments for Texas Tech. And the Baylor Bears, Dave Aranda going into year number 2, 22%, 0-5 on the road last season, 33% against the point spread. So something to watch for the Baylor Bears. And Baylor Bears is rebuilding since the issues that happened a couple years ago, right? So we got to wait and to see how that works out. And you got to give coaches chances to establish their culture, their program, their environment, their work ethic, and get that program back up to par with the rest of the Big 12. All right, don't forget, you can also get the SEC preview, and we're going to be doing a preview on every conference that you want to check. But the main thing you want to do, folks, is at during the year, you ever want to come back and say, you know what, what's Matt Campbell's record against in bowl games? Oh yeah, 7-13. And he covered how many? What's his point spread record? Oh yeah, 60%. And this is going to be like one of the indicators. Now, this is not going to be the main reason why you bet on Iowa State because Matt Campbell is 60%. It's an indicator. I always say find indicators, and the more indicators you can string along, the more confidence you have in that selection, and then you can pull the trigger on that pick, right? All right, hope you enjoyed the Big 12 coaches preview, and don't forget, subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner. Cheers.